Welcome back. Woo! Living the Dream podcast. Matthew.scoletti here. I have my notebook with me. I'm going to share something with you that I've never publicly shared with anyone. I mean that. I've never put it on social media. I've given speeches about it, but I've never actually told the world what mine is. And since you clicked on the episode, you know what I'm talking about. A legacy statement. A legacy statement. I'm a huge believer of this. I've read this in different books. Friend of mine who was a Navy SEAL told me about this idea. Ever since I heard about it, I thought it was incredible. I want to share it with you because I think it can add value to your life. There's a couple different ways you can do this. And a legacy statement is basically how you want others to view you in your life. Now, you've heard my podcast. If you listen to this one, I'm sure this is not the first one. If it is, welcome. But if it's not, you've heard me talk about how you do not want to have others' opinions of you sway your dreams and push you away from your goals, etc. I will always believe that. I still believe that. However, in order to be a true leader, you want other people to look up to you and look to you for leadership and decision-making and communication and all of that good stuff. So you've probably heard this before. Live your eulogy, don't live your resume. So that means that when you're dead and gone and somebody is reading your eulogy, what do you want them to say about you? This is similar, only I read it as if the individual, myself, is still alive. A legacy statement is how you want to live your life, the values you want to live by. What kind of energy do you want to bring every single day? How do you want other people to view you? What kind of person you want to be? And for those of you that are listening, you cannot see this notebook I'm holding up, but I'm holding my journal. It's just a regular journal that I write in almost every day. And it's just ideas that I read about or I hear about. If I'm at an event or a virtual event and I hear a speaker just hit me with a great quote or great idea, I write it in the journal. This is my 18th journal in probably the last 5 years. So I love writing in these. Every journal I have, the first page is my legacy statement. First page is my legacy statement. I'll also say this. My legacy statement has changed. I upgrade it. I make tweaks. I change it. One time I completely overhauled the whole thing. I didn't like how it sounded. And I read this legacy statement at least once a week, if not more, because it reminds me of the type of person I want to be. It reminds me how I want to show up every single day. It reminds me how I want to show up for my wife, how I want to show up for my parents, how I want to show up for my friends, and also how I want to show up for you listening or watching this podcast. That's what it speaks directly to me. How do I want to show up? And I'm going to hit you with the challenge before I even read this, which I'm sure you already know, is come up with a legacy statement. Come up with something, and it doesn't have to be in the next 20 minutes, but think about how you want to be remembered. When I interview all my podcast people, one of the last final 5 questions is how you want to be remembered. I think that's so big to think about your legacy, how you want to be remembered, whether you're 25 or 85. I love thinking about that. How do you want people to see you showing up on a daily basis? I'm going to read mine in a second. It's totally up to you. You can use this, the one that I did, as a little bit of a blueprint, but I'm sure you and I are totally different, or at least a little bit different. And I want you to come up with this legacy statement on who you are. This is about you and how you want to show up, not about me. These are some of my goals, my aspirations, my dreams. You make it about you. Whatever you love, make it about that. What do you want your friends to be saying about you? How do you want to show up with a ton of energy? Do you want to be completely honest? Do you want to be sincere? Do you want to be the person that's always there for somebody? What is important to you? That's what it is. By the way, because self-awareness is clearly a huge topic now, this also helps with self-awareness because it makes you write out what is important to you. How you want to show up is what's important to you. Has nothing to do with me, has nothing to do with your mom or your dad or your brother, sister, son, daughter. This is you. This is how you want to show up. What values you want to hold. How do you want to be remembered? Here we go. I'm going to read it to you. I have not memorized it yet. I'm going to read it to you. This is my legacy statement. Yours does not have to be this long. It doesn't have to be this short. As long as it's something when you read it, maybe you get some goosebumps. Maybe you think, yes, this is how I want to show up for the people that are in my life. Here it is. I write mine as if it's somebody else reading it. So that's why I use the word Matt in here. That's also totally up to you. You could use the word I. I write it as if a friend or family member is reading it about me. So here we go. I've never done this before. I'm kind of excited and nervous at the same time to read this. Here we go. Matt is the most charismatic, joy-filled, generous, honest human being I've ever met. Positive energy radiates from him, and he can change the entire feel of a room when he enters. He makes others laugh and smile constantly, and he's always laughing and smiling. Matt is very authentic and is not afraid to be his true self. He lives congruent to his values, which makes him a great leader. Matt is a great cheerleader for others, and he is changing lives in a huge way. He is a motivational speaking superstar. Matt always keeps his family and God as his top priorities and has a beautiful wife of over 50 years. God bless you, Matt. There you go. There's my legacy statement. So that must have been somebody reading it 50 years from now. I've been married for, that would make it 45 years from now. Yeah, that would make me what? At least in my 80s at that point. So that's my legacy statement. That's how I wish to show up for other people. Again, you can play this recording back and use that as a little bit of a blueprint. You don't have to. I would almost encourage you not to because it's just yours. I don't want to instill my values on you if you value something totally different. My challenge is come up with your legacy statement. Maybe it starts out as one sentence. I want to smile often today. That's how I want to show up. I want to smile more today. By the way, that can change lives. For anybody that thinks a smile cannot change somebody's day, somebody's hour, somebody's life, it can, and it's a powerful beast. So come up with a sentence or two or 5 or 10 on how you want to show up in your life. And then I challenge you to read it once a day for at least 10 days. Like I said, I read mine probably once or twice a week now, but if you read it once a day for 10 days, then you start to live it. Then you start to show up like that person. I also challenge you, a lot of these in my legacy statement, it's not me every day. I'm working on a lot of these. This is not how I am right at the very moment. This is what I aspire to be. These are my goals. This is how I want to be. This is how I want to show up every day. So aim high. It doesn't have to be how you are now. In fact, I never want mine to be how I am now. I always want to be striving to level up in my life and show up bigger and better and more helpful to others. This legacy statement could make huge, huge changes for you. I know it has for me. I get goosebumps every time I read it. I got goosebumps just sharing it with you. Again, never shared that with anybody before. I feel great about it. I hope it adds value to you. I hope you create your own, no matter how short or long. Read it for 10 days straight to get the ball rolling, get the momentum going, and then see yourself starting to show up as the newer version of you, the legacy version of you. Reach out to me on social media, tag me somewhere where you put your legacy statement either out there or you can share something you did to help hammer home what you want your legacy statement to be. Let's keep helping each other level up. Let's keep adding value to each other. I hope this helped you out. I hope you have an amazing, healthy, fun rest of your day, and I will see you soon.